Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is. Tuesday night, straight off vacation. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. We got the super team of sports talk here with y'all. I'm one half of it. Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. Got my main man with me. What's going on, champ? Tell them who you are.
What's good, good people? It's your boy, Uncle Hate, the other A and AA Sports, and we're here on a Tuesday night, 2 days. 2 days before we have a National Football League game that actually counts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait. Pats in Kansas City coming up on Thursday to kick off the season. Trying to think, how many years ago was it that they started these Thursday games to kick off the season? Whatever that was a good idea. But that's on the Goodell watch.
I believe it was. I guess the only thing I'm upset about is the fact that the Falcon Stadium wasn't ready for them to play New England.
Oh,
Normally it's a Super Bowl rematch on that first Thursday. Normally,
right. But the game would have been they play in New England, right?
Now they're coming here, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was something. The reason why they couldn't play, but they might be going up there because normally they play the Super Bowl return match that first game. But it was something that happened. I want to say it was the stadium.
Yeah, I think they did. They wanted. I think it came around. They wanted that opening game on the primetime. Primetime schedule.
Right.
That's how the Falcons ended up getting Green Bay, I think, as the first home game.
Gotcha.
Something like that. I can't remember, but yeah. So that's where we are. We got a couple of things to touch up on over the long holiday weekend. It's only been a 3-day weekend, but man, it seemed like a week.
Yeah.
So we got our regular scheduled topics as usual with the NFL rapid fire tidbit section. Of course, we got last call coming up at the end of the show. Some other things to go over, but as we always kick it off, y'all know how we do it. In the club, free before 10 with y'all broke asses. I know you brokers is out. It's the day after a holiday weekend, but pour it up anyway. Come on in here and get these free shots of Svedka we got going on. We're going to get right on into it. Shout out to our boy. We're going to raise a glass to the boy J.J. Watt. So you got it on here. He's raised 18.5. Actually, I think I just saw an update right before we went on air. It's up to 20 now.
Up to 20.
So J.J. Watt has helped raise $20 million to the Houston Hurricane relief efforts. So shout out to J.J. Watt and all his people, Houston Texans, for stepping up doing that. I think the Rockets or the Astros have donated a pretty substantial sum of money.
That's Alexander, the former owner of the Rockets. He had $1 million to give because he got broke off.
Yeah. I think we'll get to that later on as well. But even just regular Joe Schmoes like you and myself, man, anybody that's giving anything, I'm pretty sure those people out there appreciate it. My sister and her husband live out in Houston, and I was lucky just to even get to see them this weekend. They were able to get out of the city and get to the family reunion. So, man, it's a lot of rebuilding that still got to be done there. So, give back, people, if you can. Give back if you can.
Keep them prayers up for Houston and direct some of them prayers down to Florida because it's going to get real down there this week.
Absolutely. Coca-Cola sent me a check. I ain't even realized, but that just sent me a check.
Yeah, we accept sponsors, and I like Cherry Coke. All right, let's jump on into it. Good people. We had some roster moves. It hasn't been a lot of stuff, but it's been some few trades, few roster cuts, stuff like that. So we're going to run through them.
Rapid fire. Start that off for us.
The first notable one I put on here was Sheldon Richardson going to the Seattle Seahawks it was Sheldon and the 7th round pick for Jermaine Kearse and a 2018 7th.
Wait a minute. Sheldon Richardson. Okay, so Seattle, the Jets gave up Sheldon Richardson and a 6th round pick?
A 7th round pick. I forgot to put the year. They gave that up for a 2018 second and a 7th round for Jermaine Kearse. Okay,
so it's 2 7-round picks, mate. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so they swapped 7th and they traded players. I'm sure the money didn't match up because Jermaine Kearse wasn't making no money. But the Jets they're bound to determine to cut anybody 30 and older outside of Matt Forte. Everybody else must go.
I mean, they may as well because they're not going anywhere, so they in rebuild mode, obviously. So it don't make no sense to have them old dudes on your roster with contracts. So why they didn't release Forte, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was surprised about that one. I just saw that was coming.
If I was him, I would have been kind of going to the office like, hey, look, dog.
That's what he should have did. But these guys are nice guys. They don't be sitting there, thinking about they'll cut me if they feel like it.
I'm trying to think who was the quarterback at the time. I just can't because it's the Jets. I can't fathom myself understanding the reason why he went there to begin with.
Well, they had the bag for him. He got cut by Chicago.
Right.
So he took the bag.
Okay, I guess I can't remember whether they were the only ones willing to pay him or what the price difference was, but it had to be something for him to go.
It wasn't a lot of money. I do remember that. It wasn't like a super bag, but it was money. But I like this trade for Seattle. You add this cat to their defensive line. Don't he seem like their type of player?
Yeah, he does. What I wonder though is for them to this late in the game try to pick up a player through a trade, which you rarely see trades in the NFL. Are they not so sure about what they got on that defensive line? We know about the boom on the back end. We know about Michael Bennett. We know about the linebackers, but what about the rest of just the line itself?
Well, they drafted that boy in the first round this year, but he got hurt in like a motorcycle bike accident. They said he might not play this year. First round pick McDowell. I'm not sure about who else is on that defensive line. I know Cliff Averill, but it was a former Pro Bowler on that line. It does help.
Yeah, if not for anything but depth, so
And he's playing for a contract because this is his last year on the contract.
Right, and not more than I think about it, I want to say they had an injury on the defensive line last week that maybe led them down this road.
Yeah, so that would mean two then. So they had to get somebody in that case. All right, next one up. This one was kind of sneaky to me. The Colts traded Philip Dorsett to the Patriots for Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
We've been saying for a couple of weeks Andrew Luck was in trouble. We've been saying it. We talked about this on last week's show that your boy Chuck Pagano said he still ain't seen him throw the ball. And so now they go out and get a running QB, which means they would have to change their way of playing, which teams don't do late in the game for running quarterbacks. Hence, we lying motherfuckers in the NFL.
But I remember Jacoby Brissett vaguely. I don't know what he's going to be able to give them.
You remember he won that game up in Houston. I mean, I don't believe he can throw the ball farther than Tim Tebow, but he can run.
Yeah, I like the Philip Dorsett to New England is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is.
That's kind of interesting. Gives them some more speed in the slot. Which then they get Brandon Cooks too.
It also gives them a protection because Brandon Cooks is free this summer.
Right.
You're not getting the bag, buddy.
Oh man, you already know.
You should have known that anyway. Going to New England,
you already know how they get down. You already know how to get down. So I think this third trade is the one I was kind of when I was asking you about the picks involved in the Sheldon Richardson deal. This next one is actually the one that when I was going through the notes, I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. The Steelers trade Sammy.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
The Steelers trade Sammy Coates and a 2019 7th-round pick to the Browns for a 6th-round pick next year. Now, the trading Sammy Coates part don't surprise me because Martavius Bryant told us when he came off suspension that remember he said Juju was going to take Sammy Coates' job. And sure enough, here we are. But does Sammy Coates suck that bad that you give up a pick with him just to get a 6th-round pick back in return?
I don't think he sucked that bad. I mean, he broke his finger last year, so he wasn't catching the ball late, but he bailed their ass out a few games last year, if I can recall.
And he's only, I want to say this is his 3rd year.
3rd year, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And then especially with the history that Martavius Bryant has, as far as, being able to stay off the field, you would seem like you would keep a guy like that as some insurance. But I guess they figured, hey, we drafted our insurance with Juju.
Right.
So, hey.
They still got what's that cat they still got? The Raiders had him, who sucked real bad. He was from Maryland. Is Darius Haywood Bay still on that team?
Bebe. I don't see how Bebe end up with. Man, Bebe keep a job.
He must be a demon on special teams. He must be.
Or in the weight room or something like that. In the film room. Maybe he's a leader in the film room.
Okay, now if that trade didn't make no sense to you, this next one truly made no sense. Okay, Dallas traded a 6th-round pick for Bené Benwikere. People, if you don't remember who that is, this is the guy that Carolina had one-on-one with Julio Jones last year.
Not that Monday night game where that game Julio burned them for like 200 or something? Or maybe
that was a game. He put 300 and like 2 touchdowns on him.
Yeah, okay.
They had that boy out there on that island with him. Julio was running numbers, slants and goes.
That's right. They never would double.
No double. Just him out there. He got cut like the next week. Yeah, you traded a pick for him?
I mean, Ben, and it's a 6th-round pick 2 years from now, but I don't know what you see in this guy. I don't know what you see in him, so I don't know. I don't really have much else to add with that one. I mean, like you said, I don't care how elite the receiver is, you can't give up 300 in one game.
Nah.
I'm catching some holding, some flat pass interference, chop. Something's gonna happen. You ain't going for 300 on me.
He should have went full on Brandon Browner. Just penalties every other play.
Coach would have to take me out of the game.
I would have had some pride, but All right. Now, this next transaction I didn't see coming at all. The Denver Broncos signed Brock Osweiler after the Browns cut him. They brought him back to the team on a 1-year veterans minimum deal, which is no problem for Brock because Cleveland still got to pay that $16 million this year. A good portion of it. I'm sorry, they got to pay $15. The Browns only got to pay that. Broncos got to pay that $1 million.
Right.
That worked out well for him.
Yeah, I don't know what's up. Is he gonna beat out Trevor Siemian? That'll be funny.
Well, now they said that Paxton Lynch is gonna be out 6 weeks, so he's pretty much brought in to be the backup. I didn't watch their game week 3 when he got hurt, but apparently he got hurt.
Okay, I totally missed that.
Yeah. All right, another Broncos transaction. They cut T.J. Ward. They cut him, and he was rather upset about the timing of it and said the team wasn't very professional. You play in the NFL, homeboy. It's the way it goes.
Right.
They really don't give a shit about you.
Not at all. Not at all.
But he bounced back and signed with Tampa.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice pickup for Tampa. I think they have a defense. I don't know. Maybe it's looking at Hard Knocks. Maybe it's that, but I don't know. I'm thinking they have a good chance to be a solid defensive team. I'm looking at some of the key guys they got. I'm looking at, of course, McCoy in the middle and what he's able to do, disrupting everything up there. I'm looking at they got a solid corner in Brent Grimes. Hargrave seemed to be coming along. We'll see.
Bruh, if you've been drafted in the first round for 10 years, you should have solid defensive pieces.
That's true. That is very true. Can't argue with that.
Have they made the playoffs since Warren Sapp left?
I believe they have once, maybe twice. Yeah, they've made it. They made it a couple times. They didn't go very far, but they made it a couple times.
All right, so they traded their starting safety when they signed T.J. Ward. The Falcons, Rashid Hagan was placed on the commissioner exempt list, which basically means he got a case pending. And the rest of these signings were old heads, were cut. Man, what were we just talking about Jarvis Jones a couple weeks ago?
Jarvis sucked, man.
That's a damn shame.
Yeah. I mean, he'll probably get another job. I'm sure he's gonna bounce around, but
he's like 25.
He better put on his special teams hat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Victor Cruz.
I kind of figured that.
Bless your heart.
No, this other one. Former second-round pick just, 2 years ago. I think Tampa wasted a second-round pick on this kicker, Roberto Aguayo.
They can't still have the same general manager who drafted a kicker in the second round, can they?
I think they do, though.
I'd fire him today for that.
But I guess if you want to give them credit, they cut their strings. They went ahead and cut their strings now rather than later. He cost them enough games last year. Like I said, Tampa, they looking to be an up-and-coming team. They having playoff, aspirations this year. You can't let him, the kicker, be Achilles' heel for another two for a second year. So they did the right thing, go ahead and cutting loose ends with him, but he got cut by the Bears. Now I'm thinking now he's gonna be very hard pressed to find a job.
They shouldn't have signed his ass anyway. If he couldn't kick down there in sunny Tampa, you honestly think he can kick in the snow?
Yeah. Wind. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's not a good match.
Whoever signed him should have got fired. So
maybe he's in a dome like in Detroit somewhere.
All right. The rest of these cats, Chris Johnson, I watched that Falcons game. He fumbled 2 times in the first damn quarter. I saw that shit coming. So
he'll land on his feet.
Yeah, but I guess that's putting a whole lot of stock in the fact that little bitty Andre Ellington is the backup running back now. He ain't built for that, y'all. David Johnson go down, y'all in trouble.
And we have seen that when they tried to do that in the past.
Yeah.
Even though I will say this, Ellington, he held up to most of a full season right before David Johnson came. I think he got hurt toward the latter part. So, like you said, if David Johnson go down, they're in bad shape.
Get that man 8 carries and throw him the ball 5 times. And they got to be, sweeps and toss right. You can't run that boy up the cut. He like 180 pounds, man. That shit don't work out that way.
More times than not, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
All right. Amar Brooks got signed by Green Bay. I'm going to ask you this because he's on your team. What do you got left?
It depends on. For me, Amar Brooks has always been one of them dudes. It just depends on whether he feel like playing.
Okay.
He was always a candidate to be cut by the new regime in San Francisco due to 2 things. One, his contract. 2, his age. Well, it's more than two things. And contract, his age, and also just the scheme.
Gotcha.
We had him in the 3-4 as an outside linebacker, which is primarily pass rusher. Doing those things, some coverage. Now we're playing a 4-3. He's not a great coverage guy, so he really didn't fit in that particular scheme as an outside linebacker. Now, I will say this. Green Bay got him for pass rushing depth. I think he will excel a little bit in that role, give him some limited snaps as long as he's in shape. I will say this. He's real good at setting and holding the edge on that side of the field on his own. So it could be a very well good pickup for Green Bay.
All right, one last thing about y'all team. Y'all cut Tim Hightower, I saw, and Jeremy Curley.
Right.
Wouldn't you see Hightower didn't your draft pick, the running back, didn't he get hurt and put on IR?
Joe Williams got put on IR. What happened was they had another kid that they drafted. Well, 2 young guys. I can't remember one name, but the other one is a guy named Mozart, last name Mozart. He had a real good preseason. Teams are more times not going to go with younger guys. If it's even, they're probably going to go with the younger blood. And they also were impressed with what they saw from Carlos Hyde after thinking that maybe he wouldn't fit in the scheme. They like what they kind of seeing from him. So maybe that made Hightower expendable. I really can't say, honestly, what he did during the preseason. I don't think he really performed or did much at all. So I have to look back into that a little bit more and get back with you. But just off the top of my head, I'm thinking they just went with the younger guys because they actually did a little bit better than they thought they would do.
All right, last tidbit in regards to roster moves. I count 1 through 10. 10 suckers got cut as backup quarterbacks. And looking at every name on this list, I guarantee Colin Kaepernick is better than all of them. Yeah. I'm not holding my breath, people. He probably won't get a job at this point, but they cut 10 suckers ahead of him. 10.
Yeah, and I don't think this does is just put more names into the unemployment pot for teams to have an excuse not to sign them. So
that's true.
Like I said, I don't think it's happening at this point.
What can you do?
Well, what can you do at this point? I think we didn't say everything you can say about the situation.
Yeah.
We looked at it from all different angles. We done been mad about it. We tried to be diplomatic about it.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Like I said,
We have.
What else can you say?
Yeah. Ain't nothing we can say. I see Cam Newton came out and said that, he deserved a job. He better than a lot of starters. Yeah, that may be true, but you can't really make the rules when it's not your game. And it's messed up, but he ain't got no power with this situation. None. So let's move on to the next little story. As we talked about last week, Le'Veon Bell did report to the Steelers on September 1st.
Right.
He did not sign his tender until September 4th, but he says he's fully prepared to get 30 carries on Sunday. When he gonna pop that hamstring? Week 1 through 4 or 5 and on?
Remember I told you I think we did this a couple weeks ago. We took a look at the schedule. I said
That's right.
I think he's gonna be all right based on some of the soft teams that they play early.
That's right. We did.
Plus, I have drafted him in one of my money fantasy leagues, so I'm gonna need him to be on the field.
I dig that.
Come through. So, but we're gonna see. I mean, they play the Browns Sunday. I don't think he's gonna need 30 carries. I don't think he's getting 30 carries in the game, regardless. I just don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, they don't need to. They're gonna throw the ball 35, 40 times, probably too. So, it ain't so many plays. I'm looking at maybe
that game's in Pittsburgh.
I don't know. They playing the Browns. They can play anywhere.
Well, they play them pretty hard in Cleveland. They'll win, but they play them hard at least.
That's
but,
true. That's true.
He ain't gonna need 30 carries either way.
No,
he can get 15 carries and 10 catches and bust their ass for like 250 yards.
Yep, pretty much.
All right.
Next one. Again, the ongoing saga of the dumbest story in the NFL. One of them going into from the offseason going into the regular season now. Why the Rams have still not paid Aaron Donald. He's still at home at the crib. And it still has no end in sight, looks like.
The young boy got his feet dug in.
Well, he got him dug in for now, but he ain't missed no game checks yet.
Yeah, I see.
He's on a base. He had a base salary of 1.8 this year. So we take, you start dividing that up by 17 game checks, and you start subtracting for everyone he missed. We'll see how far those feet dug in once some checks ain't coming in, because bills are still coming in, and so you got money going out. But if you ain't got the money coming in, you start scratching your head for a minute and say, "Hey, maybe I need to go to work."
Well, they say most NFL players are 2 checks removed from being broke. 2 checks. That's right. It. So, and he's not even on a real money deal. But I do agree with what he's standing for in regards to wanting them to, adjust the pay scale. I think they should look at it after 3 years. If they own you for 5 years, you can't leave until you're a junior. So if you go in at 18, you come out at 21, they own you until you're 25, 26. You're only going to get that one big deal.
Right.
You might get a also deal at 30. Yeah, so maybe they should look at it after 3 years.
What are the chances of it happening though with the punk ass NFLPA?
No bueno.
Because we know that organization led by DeMaurice Smith is some suckers.
Yes.
So
and they voted him back in. I heard he's gonna get voted right back in with like no opposition.
So shit ain't gonna change, players. You know what I'm saying?
Sherm said it a couple months ago. They got to be willing to strike. They got to be willing to lose some games.
Yeah.
And stand their ground.
Yeah, exactly. And I keep saying it, man. Look at the NBA and look how those players, they took control. They realized, hey, this thing don't move without us.
It really don't.
NFL, it's a little bit different, but same concept. It ain't gonna move without the players. So players got to be willing, as a whole, or at least some big names. But I don't see it happening no time soon.
Nah. All right. Still no luck in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck, he did not start the season on the pup, but he is not going to be the starter for week 1. I'm trying to figure out if they ain't seen him throw, when's he going to?
Right. So not putting him on the pup list pretty much means they didn't think he was going to need the 6 weeks in order to be ready. Otherwise, they would have put him on there. So, I'm looking at. I'll have to take a look at their schedule and see maybe would be a good place to put him in. But shit, you really don't know because you can't get no information. If nobody's even seen him throw, we can't even start to think about, well, how is he throwing? Is he throwing the ball high? Is he throwing at people's feet? Is he in sync with his receivers? How's his timing? Can he take a hit? We don't know none of this because he ain't on the field. So who knows when hell he'll be ready.
Hey, man, shout out to that boy, Big Jim Irsay. I meant to put it on the notes, but did you see his comment in regards to when Luck was going to play?
No, I didn't.
Big Jim said that when Luck plays, it's pretty much up to the football gods and Andrew Luck's gut feeling when he going to play. Otherwise, he don't know.
Okay.
Right. That means they don't know shit right now.
They don't know a damn thing. So they got a week 1 game against the Rams. I'm pretty sure I'm picking them even with the Rams having Jared Goff. I'm picking them picking the Colts to take an L right there.
Yeah, I picked the Rams in that game too.
So you start piling up. You get 1, 2, 3 losses to start the season. You can't afford to do that in the NFL. You only got 16 games. So if nothing else will, I think that'll push Luck back on the field sooner rather than later.
It ain't like 2 years ago when they can win that division like by just showing up. They actually have some good teams in that division now.
Yeah, exactly. So they have to come to play.
All right, next story. End of an era in Pittsburgh. T.J. Watt was named the starter ahead of Uncle James Harrison. James Harrison, 39 years old, though. But good thing. I mean, situational pass rusher. They don't need you every play.
Right, and especially with him getting older. I know he a freak of nature in the gym and all of that, but Father Time is undefeated, and at some point he catch up with you. You can be leading in the punch count, copy box numbers for 11 rounds. Here comes Father Time with a haymaker, come round 12, and you out. Don't know where the hell you at. So good move.
Well,
good move. And plus, T.J. Watt earned it because he's been playing pretty good, balling out in the preseason. So.
He has a high motor and is very coachable.
There you go.
Good football IQ.
And he's got the right last name.
All day. All right, but sometimes before we go on the show, some news drops, and it kind of changes what we're going to talk about. Topic number 6 on our tidbits was what was going to happen with Ezekiel Elliott. Well, they ruled on it, and they upheld the 6-game suspension, so now Zeke is going to take it to trial. He will play week 1. But now the rest of the games are up for play, up for grabs.
So, okay, because I didn't see it. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are going down the Tom Brady Deflategate road, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, at least it won't affect them this year. More than likely.
Let me ask you this, though. Because it's like I've been paying attention, but I haven't. So is Zeke saying he didn't hit the girl at all?
I will assume so. I think that is his position because if their whole case, it sounds like their whole case is based around trying to destroy her credibility, saying she's lying based on the text messages and everything about her trying to blackmail him.
Right.
So, only way to me, last time I checked you can only blackmail somebody if you're trying to say that they did something, you just don't want to tell it, or you just gonna lie on them.
Right. But didn't they say they had pictures of the girl? She was beat up and stuff.
That's what I thought too. So I don't know. Zeke really hasn't said. I don't think Zeke's really even said much about it. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's really addressed much of it because the case been pending.
Right. Because I was confused. I'm like, so what is he fighting? I mean, they got police reports saying the girl got beat. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, this is going down Deflategate. So Zeke gonna be taking the trial.
Well, the messed up piece about this, and I didn't find this out until late last week. I'm not sure if you probably read it too, but the one of the main lead investigators for the NFL, that was the only person to interview Zeke, was left out of the group that was the determination to suspend him or not.
That's the chick who said that she didn't agree with he should be suspended, right?
Right. She was the one that said that she didn't agree he should be suspended, and she was the only one that interviewed him. So how do you
interviewed the girl too?
Right. And she was the only one. So how do you leave out the main person that interview both parties? How do you leave them out of the process about suggestions on discipline? So this is going to be a long, messy road. I can already tell. If you had to ask me right now at this moment, gut feeling, just based on what we saw with the Deflategate situation, and we know Jerry Jones, we know how he is. I think he's already pretty much put his position. He's going to ride with Zeke and going to use his resources and try to, go to whatever lengths are necessary to clear his. So I don't see no end in sight no time soon. Shout out there, late in the late rounds in a fantasy draft.
Right. All right. Odell got back to practicing. Does he play Sunday?
I don't see no reason why not. Was it a high ankle?
I think they said it was a high ankle, but he was acting like he got shot on the field. Yeah. But they had a video of him in the locker room dancing last week.
Wait a minute, they played Dallas, right?
They played Dallas on Sunday night.
Yeah, he'll be there.
All right. Joe Flacco and Tyrod Taylor got back to practice today. Bless their hearts. All right. Let's speed this pace up. Okay. Did you see the prediction section to be made? Did you have a chance to look at that, sir?
I did. I got a brief chance to look at it. I don't have picks for all of them, but I got some for a few of them. So, yeah, we can go through them real quick.
Okay, we're going to run through some team and individual award predictions going into the season as it starts on Thursday. I got Derek Carr winning MVP. He was on the route last year before he got hurt. The Raiders was winning. He was balling. I think they're going to have a good season this year. I was going to go with Tom Brady, but let the young boy eat. Who you got for MVP?
I am going to go – I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers.
That's solid.
I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers this year. I think he's definitely gonna be forced to throw more with Ty Montgomery as a lead back. I'm still not convinced on that, but we're gonna see how they rock. But I'm gonna go. Yeah, just a name off the top. I don't think they're gonna give it to Brady again. Matt Ryan won last year. And it's usually a quarterback that wins that award. So I'm not mad at that Derek Carr pick either. So.
All right, I'm going with Defensive Player of the Year. I think JJ is going to wreak havoc on the league this year because he pretty much only played, I want to say, 2 or 3 games last year. And I don't recall him having somebody as good as Jadeveon Clowney on the other side in the years that he was winning Defensive Player of the Year. So how can he not ball this year?
Right. Only thing that may lead some people to not vote for him is if Clowney has another season like he did last year. Now they can say, well, you got a beast on the other end, and they may have to consider this as much. So you never know.
Who'd you have?
For that one, that was one of the ones I did have somebody a pick for. I'm going to go with Landon Collins, safety from the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Very solid.
I like what he did last year and just another year under the belt, man. He's looking – I'm just
That's a good
name out there, but to a certain degree, he kind of reminds me of Sean Taylor a little bit. I ain't saying he's Sean Taylor before anybody get up in arms, but the way he hit, SEC boy, just the way he can man the back end of that field, create turnovers. You watch tape on him and you see him 12 yards deep to start the play. Next thing you know, he's stuffing the running back at the line. So he's solid. I like him.
All right, Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going with Le'Veon Bell. If he plays 16, he ain't played 16 in a very long time. I think he had like 1,300 yards and 600 receiving last year playing 12. Mm-hmm. If he plays 16, sweet Jesus, what numbers can he put up? Yeah,
that's going to be the main thing. Can he stay on the field? Can he stay on the field? I really don't I don't have one for that. That's a good pick, definitely. If not him, I'll go with an A-Town boy right here in Atlanta. I'll go with Julio. If he can expound on what he did last year, I think he can be in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. With the way that
David Johnson, that's a solid one.
And that's another good candidate. That's another good. You're right. And it's shit. I mean, with that offensive line in Dallas, and if this case drag out to next year, you can throw Zeke in that pot now.
Zeke is playing. He got motivation this year, so it's very possible. All right, Rookie of the Year. I know everybody's talking about Christian McCaffrey and a couple of the other players. I think with Spencer Ware's knee injury, it's going to go to Kareem Hunt because Andy Reid has said he is the starter. And in an Andy Reid offense, if you can catch the ball, you're going to ball for them. So I'm going with Kareem Hunt.
Sure. This one, I would have had to have a little bit more time to look at some numbers and look at just some things to help me make my decision. But a few guys I think we should look out for. One, Deshaun Watson. I think that's going to really depend how soon he's able to get into the lineup as a starter. If Tom Savage is going to start out the starter and he's able to win games, then that could prolong Deshaun even coming on the field. If it goes the other way around, then we can see. Another guy, let's see. I just had him on the tip of my tongue. Joe Mixon. I like what I saw.
Yeah, he got a chance.
I like what I saw from him preseason. Now, he's not starting number one on the depth chart from what I saw today. But if Jerry McHill keeps up with this 3.1 or 3.2 yards per carry, I think that he had last year, his job as a starter will be very short-lived. But that's another guy to go for. And then a sleeper, and this is going to sound crazy, but based on, I think, what he's done in the preseason, I think Trubisky's got a chance. If he's able to keep going in the route he's going, especially with everyone thinking that he was going to, still thinks that he's just going to fall on his face and suck. If he's able to do anything with the Bears, it's possible.
All day. All right, I went with J.J. Watt for comeback player. I mean, hell, if he wins Defensive Player of the Year, they're going to give him comeback at the same time. That kind of made sense to me.
Yeah, I can. I would go with him on that one myself.
All right, Coach of the Year. This one was kind of difficult because when you look across the National Football League, it's not a lot of good coaches, people. It's just really not. It's just a lot of coaches that got really good quarterbacks who kind of cover up their bullshit. But in this case here, I kind of feel like this is going to be the year that Mike Tomlin gets them where they need to be. I think they're going to make the Super Bowl. They're going to win 13 games, maybe 14, and they're going to give them Coach of the Year.
I'm going to go. So I ran a couple names through my head, and I just didn't want to pick them, honestly. I'm looking at teams that may have good seasons like Seattle, the Packers. I don't like people.
I thought about Mike McCarthy. I just couldn't do it, B. Couldn't do it.
Exactly. Mike McCarthy be on that bullshit. Pete Carroll is a rah-rah guy. I never looked at him as just a real coach, even though he's got I'm not going to go through that because I can be here all day trying to explain what I'm trying to say. But Pete Carroll to me is a rah-rah guy, so I'm not picking him. The Giants is another team that I'm looking to get to that double-digit win platform, and I damn sure ain't picking Ben McAdoo to win Coach of the Year. That's not happening. So I'm going with Jack Del Rio from the Raiders. I
swear I had him on this list, and I took him off of Mike Tomlin. We right here, boy.
All right, there you go. I'm gonna roll with Jack Del Rio on that.
That's a good call. All right, playoff team that could possibly regress from 2016 into 2017. You know what? I made this pick thinking Zeke wasn't going to play, but I'm going to go Dallas and Kansas City.
Okay.
Stepping back.
Right, from the playoff teams from last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I mean, it's obvious why you picked Dallas. Kansas City could very well, fall back. I don't think they were really a number 2 seed last year to me.
No.
Part of that had to do with Derek Carr getting hurt and Oakland falling back. So, yeah, that's
indeed.
But I'm gonna go. I'm going Detroit, just because it's Detroit.
Right.
And I'm going Miami. Looking at these other teams, because it's all dependent on Jay Cutler. That can go either way.
I'm starting to believe he's gonna find a way to ball this year, some kind of way.
We're looking at what just a little bit he was doing preseason, and for him to not be in shape, not have really had football on the mind playing wise throughout the off season. I honestly can't sit here and shit on him for what he's done so far. So we'll see. We know that the reason Miami picked him up because Adam Gase has been the only coach pretty much more or less is able to get anything out of him over the last 5 or 6 years. So
I'm gonna make a bold prediction right now.
Uh-oh.
If Jay Cutler goes up to Foxborough and beats New England, or even beats them in Miami, Ryan Tannehill's done. They will not re-sign him.
He might be done anyway.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's on the verge now. Let Jay Cutler beat New England some kind of way. He's done.
You're right.
All right, teams that suck from 2016 that should come up in 17. Of course, I'm gonna go with Carolina. Now, my baseline with this was you got to win 6 or below games. I'm gonna go with Carolina because I'm assuming we're gonna get more, and I'm gonna go to Chargers. Chargers lost a lot of close games last year, a lot.
They do, and they do every year. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go Carolina. I'm gonna go Carolina. I think the Rams have a lot of talent to be a force.
They do.
It's just a matter of how that young coach and his staff is going to be able to come in there and coach them boys up. I will go with the homer pick with the 49ers. I mean, we only won 2 games last year, so you can't go nowhere but up.
Right.
But I predicted us to only go 5-11, 6-10 at best this year. So I really can't say that would be a come up because even if we went to 6-10, based on your requirements, we still end up on this same list next year. So I'm gonna go with them, and I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. Don't ask me why. I have every reason in the book not to go with them, starting with Marvin Lewis, Andy Dalton. But I just think they're a better team than 6-9-1.
They normally make the playoffs, so it's not like you're saying something out the way. All right, let's run through this basketball real quick. We ain't got to talk about the Kyrie story. We know that. All right, Carmelo was still in New York. Camp starts on 9/25. Will something happen between then and now?
I'm gonna say yeah. No. I'm gonna say no, and hope for the best, and hope that I'm wrong. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right. All right. Well, Kyrie had his press conference. He's a Boston Celtic. That's that story. We were talking about Les Alexander doing open bar, and we mentioned that he gave $1 million to the Hurricane Relief Fund. You know what? I would have gave $1 million too if somebody would have gave me $2.2 billion today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was definitely a come up. What I mean, cha-ching.
We said it the other week, though. We said if the Clippers win for 2, I'm asking 2.5, 2.2 easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep.
And you got 2 stars on this team right now. And Beyonce wants to be the owner. the owner guy came out and said he wants to work with Beyonce.
Oh, they about to be lit then.
They sure are. All right, what do you think about LeVar, his comments about the NCAA in regards to the shoes he released for LaMelo like last week?
I know everybody jumping on LeVar because in our culture, we have grown up with the complete high school, go to college, get a degree, get a job. If you're gonna play sports, then you need to have a degree as a backup. That's just pretty much how things in this society has been done. But these millennials, they have a different way of doing things now. You're starting to see more and more people be successful, become millionaires without having touched foot on a college campus. I think the days of it being strictly about the traditional way of getting money, of getting a career is changing.
It is.
So I ain't hating on them because, hey, the NCAA is going to exploit them. So why not make your own way? I mean, if he plans on going to the pros or whatever, does he
send him to China?
Hey, exactly.
Send him to China. Send him to Korea, Spain, or somewhere. Let him, man. Do you know if he goes over there and balls in China, what would happen with the big baller brand?
Right. Exactly. My only thing is looking at LaMelo. I'm not convinced on him.
I'm not either.
No, I'm not convinced on him. So I think that could be maybe a reason that maybe LeVar might want to change gears a little bit. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But I know I'm probably in the minority saying, hey, I don't really mind it because I don't mind the independents and these business owners these days. and not going the traditional route. Everything you ain't got to go the same route somebody else went. So it's a lot of different ways to be successful.
I firmly agree. I'm gonna pimp myself before I allow somebody to pimp me.
Right.
In that regard.
And I look at our age bracket, our generation, for instance. I think a lot of people with a lot of talent have not went out on limbs to do things on their own, because you're thinking about what grandma said or granddaddy said. You told them you was going to finish school and do things this way, and you didn't go that route.
All right, let's run through this NCAA real quick. Bama beat FSU. This game was pretty much set in the third quarter with, I want to say, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles on special teams. Say what you want about them falling apart. Bama played a real team opening weekend, number 3 in the country, I believe, and they whooped their ass. Say what you want. They got it done.
Yeah, that game fell apart for Florida State in the third quarter. You're right.
It got done in the third quarter. I turned the shit off. Michigan beat Florida. Florida needs a quarterback, something special, boy. They need a quarterback.
And this is so I hate to see. I mean, as a Georgia fan, part of me could care less about Florida, but just growing up watching college football, Florida was always good, and they have not been good in quite some time.
Since Urban Meyer left, last time they was good. Texas got beat by Maryland. Ranked Texas, I want to say 25, 23, somewhere around there. Unranked Maryland beat them. Hey, Texas, blame that on Charlie Strong.
Right.
You got Tom Herman in there. He's supposed to turn that shit around. Opening weekend, got beat by an unranked team. I'm just saying.
At home.
At home. I'm just saying. All right, Texas A&M. You know who was happy about this game last night? The Falcons fans.
Oh.
Because the Falcons fans had the largest blowout come from behind win loss. Well, Texas A&M, they raised their 25 to 34 points. They were ahead on UCLA and lost.
Yeah, now UCLA is supposed to be a good team, but once you up 44-10, that game's supposed to have a bow tie on it. And John, what's the boy's name? Jason or Josh Rosen? Rosen. I think we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Brought him back. I think he threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Kevin Sumlin, you got a real estate agent?
You know what? I was thinking about it. They were talking about it on the radio today. Texas A&M didn't really get on the map till Johnny got there. They ain't been shit since he left. Is this another example of a school getting some pub and now they think they're on this level when they're really not?
I mean, you can look at you. I mean, you could be on to something there. I mean, you can really look at their whole existence based on that. Not just Johnny Manziel being there, and it's just them beating Alabama that game. He beat Alabama.
Yeah.
It seemed like from there on, the legend of Johnny Football and Texas A&M, as if they were this powerhouse school. We were looking for them to cash in on that, and it hasn't happened. They've been going backwards ever since.
All right, final story. UGA beat Appalachian State. The boys look good. We lost Jacob Eason, but we are heading into Notre Dame Saturday. Still riding with them. Still going to have my Bulldog clothes on. Hopefully we get a win this weekend. We're going to see.
Yeah, I didn't see the game, but I saw Fromm did pretty good. He's a true freshman. Yeah. It was a quarterback battle from what we was hearing in the offseason. It was a little bit of a battle there. The coach was saying between Eason and Fromm. But, Eason ultimately won out the job. So I think they like what they have in Fromm. And if Eason's going to be out an extended period, I think they feel they're in good hands. I mean, the SEC East is grabs. I mean, Florida didn't look good. Tennessee won, I think. Did Tennessee win?
Tennessee should have lost that damn game 4 times last night.
Okay, I missed it.
Gave it to him.
I was on the road, but I heard that was a good game. I saw y'all tweeting about it. All right.
Yeah. All right. The AP top 10, Alabama's won. Florida State dropped from 3 to 10. We'll see where it goes early. All right, we got to speed this thing on up. The STFU award for me this week goes to Lonzo Ball for hating on the God. I'm going to be old here for a minute. You're going to have to get off my lawn, young kids, in your damn skinny jeans. Nas Escobar, you cannot hate on him. Nasty Nas, Nostradamus. You can't hate on him.
Yeah, you can hate on Nostradamus.
Yeah, okay. Give you that one. You know what? I wasn't tripping on what he said in regards to don't listen to Nas. That's what you want to do. But when he said real hip hop is Migos and Future.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand what he's saying because that's his generation. That's their hip hop. That's their real hip hop, quote unquote. But don't shit on the real OGs out here, young boy. Stay in your lane, as your own dad would tell you.
And that boy Lil B came out and threatened to put a curse on him for speaking on Nas. Y'all don't need that shit.
Nah, they don't need it. They don't want LA. They don't want that. And going back to the Nasty Nas and Nostradamus, one day when we ain't got shit to do, we keep saying it, but it never seems like it's the day that we don't have shit to do. We need to do a list of like the all-time great rappers, they worst albums, shit like
Nostradamus is his worst album.
Jay-Z with Kingdom Come and Blueprint 2. We need to do one of them one day for fun. Like
that'll work.
I'm saying it right now. Do it for the culture.
Yeah, that'll work. You got an STFU, you good?
Donald Trump. And it's not what he said, it's what he hasn't said. Well, some of it is what he said, some of it what he hasn't said. Everything going on in Houston right now, I'm going to switch to be serious a little bit. But anyway, Houston mayor has come out and said that Donald Trump, or 45 as we call him, has not returned any of his repeated phone calls. 45 has been on TV and everything, thanking FEMA, thanking the Texas governor, what have you. Ain't mentioned the Houston's mayor not one damn time. My brother-in-law told me how he came down to Texas, but he came to an area of the city where it wasn't really much damage. Sun was out and shining. And, hey, I touched down in Houston, but he hadn't been to downtown Houston at all. So that, along with many other things, I try not to keep up with 45 too much because it's just an ongoing soft opera every day. When you talking all this, international and talking about immigrants and all of this shit, but you got shit right here on your own land and you ain't going to touch down and see about it. That's bullshit, partner.
All day. All right, we've come to the end of the show. It's last call. It's about 1:45. Them lights just got clicked on. You got to do what you got to do. Time to go to work, fellas. We're going to run through these real quick. All right, Diego, give me an over and under. Sheldon Richardson and Brandon Marshall are fighting on October 22nd when Seattle comes to the Meadowlands.
Hey, it's going down. I swear we've been knowing each other too long because one of the first things I did this morning when I found out about this trade was I'm like, the Seattle and the Giants play this year? Because I would love to see, especially after the game, what's going to go down between them two. I
see it pregame. When everybody be out on the field getting, the workouts. Okay. They don't cross paths. They need to lock up. Just get it over with.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to that boy Magic Johnson for bossing up on the NBA. Okay, in regards to his tampering fine, Magic said, take it out my salary. Magic is a millionaire, about probably $300-400 million over. What he wearing about $500K?
I want to say, I think the Magic make it to the billion club.
He's there already?
I don't know. I want to say he is between the ownership of the teams, the Starbucks, all his other business ventures. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
And they stepped to him about 500 racks. Step off.
I'll look it up while you go through the next one.
Really? All right, Martavius Bryant. He finally got fully reinstated by the league. Does he fuck it up, fam?
Nah, he gonna be good, man. If he fucks this up, then just go home. No, I think he's gonna be solid. Okay, double what you said. He worth net worth $600 million.
Oh, 500 racks. Bye. Okay, Kyrie Irving. They're actually making the Uncle Drew movie. I had no idea until I saw the picture of the cast today.
Okay.
They're actually making this movie.
Interesting.
So maybe young Kyrie had plans to get out of Cleveland up under LeBron to be his own man. We're gonna have to talk about this one day coming up because I don't know if I think Kyrie's a good player. I don't think he's gonna make anybody better no time. So I don't see it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. And we know Brad Stevens' offense. Isaiah Thomas, that wasn't a position for that team that it really was set on making other guys better. It was set up to let the point guard kind of score and take over in certain situations. So we'll see.
Real quick on that before we jump off there, we got one more time. If you had your choice, Kyrie Irving or John Wall?
John Wall.
I said the same thing. I take them 12, 13 assists a game all day long. 24 points all day long.
I like my
24 to 30.
Yeah, I like my point guards with the size that John Wall has, equipped with that speed and strength and that playmaking ability. As a point guard, like you said, we say it all the time. We old school. I know it gets redundant probably to some of y'all, but it is what it is. That's how I like my ball played inside out. I like big men. I like hand checking. I like playoff fouls, no layup rules. That's how I like my ball, and I think John Wall fit that.
All right, last topic in regards to this show before we close this thing on out. Did Power piss the bed on Sunday with that finale? 'Cause I feel like they did.
Man, that shit was weak as fuck to me.
It was so weak. I'm like, you just ended last season with Ghost going to jail. So we're going to start the next season with Tasha being locked up? Come on. I mean, it was just weak sauce to me. Weak sauce.
It's like I think they drug out the whole killing Ray Ray thing. They just drugged that out too long. That was just kind of predictable.
I want that little boy to go. You going to go kill somebody with your mama's gun at your house?
Oh, boy, that's going to be interesting. Tasha fell for not only getting in bed with that sucker lawyer, but telling him the dirt. He got clown written all over him. That was not a good move. They're going to have to end up offing him next season. Watch.
That's it.
But I am interested in seeing Tommy, Ghost, and Kanan riding together next season. I'm interested in seeing that.
Hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
There you go. So,
well, good people, we've been talking about it for a long time, but we are here. The next time we are on this show, the football games count. They are for real.
Yes, sir. Hey, tell them where to reach you at on social media. Oh, are we coming back? We're not gonna have a show before Thursday game, so we gotta get a pick.
We're not doing Thursday?
Oh, we're gonna do it before the show, before the game? Okay, bet. We'll give our pick then. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, we're doing Thursday. We got to get our picks in. You can reach me at BK6000. Holler at me on Twitter. I talk sports.
There it is. You can reach myself at Diego Barish. Also, don't forget to watch us on the YouTube channel. We appreciate you liking, and subscribing to that show. Also, don't forget to share it with your friends. Also, appreciate those of you that have been listening to us on the Spreaker platform. Just off the top of my head, I know we had a few new subscribers. Nicole Monique, Lord Baltimore, and a few others. Forgive me for not having your names and giving you a shout out, but I will next show on Thursday. We appreciate you listening to us on Spreaker. And always, don't forget to hit us up on the social media platforms, IG at AA Sportscast, as well as AA Sportscast on Twitter, and look out for the Facebook page that's on the popping too. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew. We're going to get with y'all hopefully soon. Season getting ready to start. So we're looking forward to that. That has not been put on the shelf. We're going to give it some CPR, get it back up and going. So for Uncle Hate, Diego Barishnikov, Super Team of Sports Talk thing, man. It's
the process.
AA Sports, baby. Straight sports, no chaser. We'll holler at y'all Thursday, man. Be easy. Peace.